This is Matt from MGMT Boston. Here on this episode of The Lantern, we're in Cambridge today with the GrowthFactors team. We have Sam, Clyde, and Raj, the co-founders of GrowthFactor. Guys, what are you and your team building here?
GrowthFactor is the command center for commercial real estate. So a place to analyze what would it be like if I opened a new store here? Or what would this new market look like for my brand, for my restaurant, or my retail concept? All the way to brokers that are helping them make those decisions on the tenant and landlord side, all the way to owning land or figuring out where to develop a new property. Everything that needs to happen for commercial real estate to happen, GrowthFactor is the hub.
Now this team just raised their institutional seed round, announced it. So now what is happening in 2026? Like, what are you guys excited about? What is happening inside the company that you want to share with the Boston startup community?
This is probably the most exciting time in GrowthFactor history. I mean, we've gone from barely, a couple of customers to we got 30 plus customers now. We just launched our MCP and AI integrations, and we've started building our own proprietary foundation models to help take the art of real estate to the next level. I'm just so excited to be on the cutting edge of this technology. I mean, it is actually really cool to be able to take the technology that's being built for large language models and apply it in a totally novel, different way, not as a language model, but as a model for human dynamics and how people move in cities.
So having closed the round at the end of last year and then moving into 2026, obviously this new office space where we find ourselves no longer taking up space within the MIT space, having now this opportunity to have this space of our own here in Kendall. We've grown the team to about 17 individuals, which has been a super exciting opportunity for growth, albeit we're already outgrowing this space, so needing to figure out that a little bit ourselves. And as we move forward through the end of the year, I think the team will continue to grow a little bit, but we are excited to think about building really the sales and go-to-market engine for 2027. We think what we effectively developed here is one of the most helpful commercial real estate products really ever built, and getting that into the hands of as many people as possible all across the commercial real estate value chain is really our priority for the end of this year and into next year.
That's great to hear. And now for all those founders or early stage builders out there who are maybe at a couple of customers to get to 30 plus customers, what are some of the lessons that you guys have learned through this journey that you would pass back to people, maybe yourselves a couple years ago?
One lesson is that you're never going to really know the right answer up front. And
Sure.
so the most important thing you can do is iterate quickly. You're going to be wrong most of the time, but the worst thing about being wrong is doing nothing. And so trying things that you may think are a bit out of the box or zany, you may stumble upon the perfect solution to a problem. You may waste some time, but that's okay. That's part of this experience.
For me, probably the most important learning on how you go from 0 customers to 30 is the willingness to do things that aren't scalable. And I think if you spend too much time on the front end thinking, how many people will this interact and how do we get this into 100,000 hands? It becomes very hard to go from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. And often the answer is just knocking on doors, making calls, and doing whatever it takes to get from 1 to 2. And then once you're at 2, figuring out how to go from 2 to 3 and so on.
I just want to build on Sam's thing. The song Humble, like Kendrick Lamar, comes to mind. You got to sit down and take a step back and be willing to burn it all down. We've done that more times than I can count. Yeah. The more you get attached to the past, the worse it gets. So you got to come in with no ego, and I know less now than I did a year ago, but I know that I know less, which is the important part.
I think that's a great insight. And last, how can we help you all? How can we help your team grow here in Cambridge and soon around the world?
We're hiring for a staff engineer. That's probably the biggest thing on my team.
We're always growing. So anyone who's interested in helping us build, whether it's in sales or in engineering or product or anything, it's very helpful to reach out. And I would also say if there's any restaurants or retailers that are looking to grow and want to do it in a way that actually ensures that your new stores are going to be better than your old stores, we are the right partners to help you.
This is Raj, Clyde, and Sam, the co-founders of GrowthFactor. Matt from MGMT Boston, this episode of Lantern. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.